And hey everybody, welcome back! BogMod here. Playing more The Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel.
What a lovely flower bed.
Almost
With
too
all
lovely.
these flowers blooming, you'd think it was spring. Wait. And these blue lavenders, they're...
Errand flowers. Like the ones the Archbishop requested during our field exercises.
But we're still recovering from our magical teleportation and super nap. Who are you three? I'm gonna call you Miss Poof Pink Hair, Miss Silky Silver Hair, and you're Miss Beautiful Blue Hair. How come I've never seen you before? Mysterious. I'm actually a guy. This world is full of mysteries. I hope she got the point. Don't I get to you, Kurt? She's just a little girl. Yep, I wouldn't be that worried about it, Kurt. One day I'm going to solve all the mysteries in the world, whole wide world. And I'm going to start today once Daddy takes me to the woods. Alright. Lemuric General Store.
Whoa. This place is packed with all sorts of stuff.
Something about it seems rather peculiar.
Not so peculiar when you consider it's set up in a witch's village.
I mean, you say that, but I think it's very peculiar. Just look, eggplants. We all know these eggplants aren't in season. What kind of unnatural witchcraft do they use? Also, this is a lot of bread. And I don't think all of this bread is the kind that you just leave out. And then they've got magical doodads. Hello, my young guest. Welcome to Limerick. Let me give you a warning. All of this stuff is magic. The eggplant's the most magical. If you dare to touch an eggplant, it will probably kill you from a magical curse. They're cursed eggplants. Got here that the Hexaclant has always been out with its subterranean of fire. Yes, the ancient Zemurians, of course, had magic. Strictly speaking, our products are legally distinct from those artifacts, but we needn't split hairs. It just means that Zemuria can't sue us. And everyday goodies. Yay! I'd like to buy things, please. Which makes the texts. The more I research, the more it feels as if the world's heading towards a critical point. Details aren't relevant to you, at least for now. Alright. I have to make a very difficult decision. Alright, first of all, let's buy a new robe. And some shoes. Imperial Chronicle, Volume 1. We'll leave these, of course. Perfect. Alright. Hi, Lisa. Lisa also having to deal with some interesting revelations, like her dad being evil and alive. Evil and alive. Lisa. Oop, no, stop the auto. No. No. There we go. Whew. Guess we're all a little rusty after 2 weeks in bed. We're looking through the books here. A lot of rare stuff on display. I thought I'd take a look. So I just came for a copy of the Imperial Chronicle. Yeah, we got one of them too. I thought we were in a different dimensional space from the rest of the world. Maybe. But seems they can still get supplies. Two. Elisa, are you too scared to read it? I can tell. You must think I'm pretty pathetic. Whatever's written in is going to be horrible. This great twilight mess. The Empire's a total train wreck. I think what happened to Reen and Milliam and Laura's father too. And that is how the person who caused all that hurt is your evil dad who made them. You know, if you think about it, her evil dad made Altina and Milliam, which makes them half-siblings? Huh? Just want to put that out there, maybe? Sorry, everyone. I know I've been trying to set a better example. To find out what part my mother's playing in all this. Yes! Your mother does seem to still be on board the World War train. What Sharon's doing, too, now that she's back with Ouroboros. Ah, yes! So, if I recall correctly, so Sharon tried to kill somebody, and then thought she killed Elise's dad. And to make up for it, she's like, I'll be your maid! But basically the terms were, to make up for it. And she was all like, I love these people. They are my family, and I love them, and I'll do anything for them. And now she's like, oh, turns out your dad's alive. Well, I guess I will now go right back to Ouroboros. It's like, well, that's a bit of a hard shift. Since I didn't really kill you, all that feeling I built up will now be abandoned. But we should read what's in the book. Particularly turned out to be Elise's father, Franz Reinfeld. Fits the tone of this. Even then, she's doing her best to put up a strong front. But things like this, just what exactly can we do? Books. So they passed the law. They had the funeral at the cathedral by the head archbishop, with the 4 other archbishops also attending. Authorities are going to suspect the Republic of Calvert of engineering the explosion. What to come? Forbidden. He's a victim of a tragic shooting, remains in coma. Progress unclear. He's world-class surgeons from St. Ursula are coming in with the latest medical tech. Everyone's praying for him. Since the incident, my mother and sister have been reluctant to leave the castle, and lacking even the requisite energy to rouse them on those days. I'd like to ask our dear countrymen to offer prayers, not just for my father, but also for my mother and sister, who find themselves waylaid by this tragic event. Punishment for this heinous criminal has yet to be announced. I mean, it's given everything here, probably execution, I would say. 2 weeks have passed since the trouble began in Heimdall. The ominous ringing of bells and terrified screams became part of the daily soundscape of the city. It suffered attacks from both monsters and mechanical giants. The interest is speculated to be subterfuge of Calvardian design. Thankfully, the 4th Armored Division and the Railway Military Police have managed to bring the situation more or less under control. I would be able to sit here at the Imperial Chronicle office writing this column without the efforts of those brave peacekeepers. Hello. That for rising shelves. Alright, no need to use it. Neat.
The sky above Erin seems so strange.
Yeah. It's like we're in a completely different world.
You might be.
The Hexen clan village is quite a mysterious place.
Alright. Where has the others? Because someone walked off. Like Elisa, for example. Maybe they went to the inn? Oh, yeah. See, there's people upstairs now. Are you writing a letter? Yes, to my butler Arnold in Berehad. You can imagine the unrest in the city whilst without its ruler. He was such to handle official business in my absence while telling him my whereabouts. Got a lot of responsibilities, huh? Poor Lord has so much more work to do because I'm away. But you know what? Eustace, he's keeping active. He's doing things. Guess there really is no way to avoid this war. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, you guys never stood a chance against Osborne. I mean, you literally only found out about his plan, like, maybe well, actually, you didn't even figure out, you had no idea about the Graal thing until it happened. You kind of figured out the mobilization thing, like a day before you unleashed it. But yeah, of course not, yeah. You have no chance against Osborne. Let's go get together in a little bit and talk about our plans moving forward. It's a great idea. I also want everyone to remember that part. Now we shall go chat with Emma and Rose. Actually, let's go this way first of all.
Oh? What's this?
There's steam billowing out from over there.
A hot spring, perhaps? Although I can't smell any sulfur.
It's probably a magic hot spring. Change rooms, release a hot spring. Fun hot spring right in the middle of a village of witches? Kind of crazy to stop and think about it. Yeah. But nobody wants to soak quite yet. Having a look around the village, are you? Sure you guys had enough rest? We're getting there, sorta. It's hard to relax, though. Busy helping get over the shock, yeah. About that magic feather, that thing Muse used at the Graal, something being deceased familiar? Ah, Grianos. Oh, yes, Grianos. He died in the second game when Rufus one-shotted him, but how? Same by Rufus, yeah, there we go, yeah. General killed him, which is familiar. I have no idea. It is indeed how it happened. Grianos wasn't blessed with the ability to speak, but they bonded closely nonetheless. He was irreplaceable to all of us. It's vital we don't lose Stelline as well. If anything happens to Stelline, I'll know immediately. So please try not to worry, okay? We will try. I care much for ad nauseums, but I advise you grant your worry bones a bit more rest out of your stay. Okay. What now? Go back to the Rosa's atelier. No need to rest. We can have talks after that. Brings a couple of stops that might pique your interest. Not too much in. Yeah, take a stroll if you can't relax. Alright, that is everybody. Now I can go back and progress the plot. It sounds obvious, but I feel like everyone's suffering. Yes, they are! They've lost friends, they've lost family, they've completely failed to stop Osborne from starting a world war. I mean, part of why you guys haven't let it hit is you were unconscious for 2 weeks instead of having to mope around and let it sink in. Yeah, Lisa, Laura, and Eustace. Shows how much they all loved Milliam. Feeling Structurine was keeping everyone together, too. Seven relied on him just as much as we did. Yeah. He wasn't the center of the group. He was the rock! To strike just from his presence. Well, what are we supposed to do now that he's gone? Ash. As if Ash... That's fine if Ash is gone. Muse is... It's too bad about Muse, but Ash is... You know, you're better off without him. Duchess Cayenne. It's difficult to believe she was putting such plans in place the entire... You know, you say that, Altina. But I'm used to plots and schemes being woven right under our very noses. I expect just so much plotted schemes. Just regress the situation any of us could have known. Kind of annoying, though. She take care of Ash. Oh, see, again, I'm like, well, you know, when you say you're gonna take care of someone, it has lots of meanings. Maybe she'll throttle his neck. I prefer to speak with Ash in person.
Back already, I see.
I don't think anyone prefers to speak with Ash in person myself. Be prepared for consistent Ash hate. If you're a fan of Ash, be warned.
Rose. Randy.
Da-da-da.
Man, look at you. Still down in the dumps, huh?
Yep.
Oh, I guess old Class 7's in the same boat.
Well, can you blame them? From what Emma's told me, the combined power of the gnomes and the blood and iron chancellor is completely overwhelming.
Yeah, they kind of kicked our butt right there at the end.
So much so that they could bring about the end of the world with ease.
I mean, maybe? I'm not convinced that's actually the goal.
That's terrifying to think.
To top things off, we've got 5 more Divine Knights besides Valimar running around now.
Yep.
And one of them, that Ebon Knight, Chancellor Osborne, is piloting.
Of course,
himself.
he's the final boss.
That
So he
knight
gets
had
his
an
own
aura
super knight.
unlike any of the others.
Yeah, that's right. Of course, being the final boss, I assume, he has to have the super
As
special
if it
one.
wanted to dominate all it surveyed.
Yeah. Honestly, it gave me goosebumps just looking at it. I mean, the other Divine Knights had powerful auras too. But that one...
It's weird to think about because the red one was like kind of, it was the end boss of the second game and portrayed as like its own scale, like a threat that would level cities.
Well, if the Blood and Iron Chancellor's behind the wheel, it's gotta be bad news.
Oh, Randy, that's just meta awareness of how gameplay works.
Right. There was something else that bothered me.
Now, Rean, let us begin. Together we shall write the end of this wretched fairy tale. In ink, black as despair.
Right at the end, the Chancellor called Instructor Rean by his first name. Almost like he knew him well. But when they met in Heimdall, they were much more formal with each other. Last names and all that.
Now that you mention it,
So this is one of those, it doesn't have the same impact in North America. The whole formality thing is very different when you write from a Japanese perspective than North American perspective about how we treat names. So it loses a little bit of its impact, but you know, it's kind of meant, hey, wait a minute. The idea that he would use a first name for this guy, this hero of, kind of the hero of the realm, this awakener, all these other factors. The fact that he would use, it's supposed to be a real big deal, but it doesn't quite have the same impact for us.
That is
over
kind
here.
of weird.
Allie?
is there something you're not telling us?
Well,
Yes, Altina, agent of the intelligence service, kind of keeping a few
Allie,
secrets.
Please.
You're with the Intelligence Division, right, Altini? Bet you know way more than us about all this.
Certain things have been nagging at me for a while now. Not just the exchange between the Chancellor and Instructor Rean, but old Class VII's behavior as well. And then there's the fact that Instructor Rean is not a Schwarzer by birth.
So this is where they figure it out.
Huh? Oh, right. I guess I knew he and Elise weren't actually blood related.
You should know that, or else her interest in him is very different.
interesting.
Hey, whoa! What are you getting at here?
As a Vander, I'm privy to certain information that I believe may shine a light on our current situation. 14 years ago, just before the start of the 100 Days War, someone attacked the home of the then Brigadier General Osborne.
This seems like a weird detail for them to have told Kurt.
To this day, nobody knows who was responsible nor what motivated them, but they murdered Osborne's family in their own home. He lost his wife, and, it's said, he lost a son, but the son's remains were never found.
And have we learned anything, children? If you don't find the body, they're still alive. Worked for Reen, and it's gonna work for the 3 who are in the airship.
Oh, so that's how it all connects. But hold on, Kurt. How did you put this all together?
It's a technique Instructor Reen taught me called the unclouded eye. Letting go of your preconceived notions will let you see the truth.
It's called plot convenience.
I trust I'm not mistaken.
You're right.
Dun 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 dun.
I received confirmation myself 2 years ago, during the incident at the Infernal Castle. Though it was only by coincidence, I was there on a mission to capture Duke Cayenne. Instructor Reen and old Class 7 were shocked to discover the truth.
I can imagine.
Yeah, no kidding. That'd mess anyone up. But that would explain why Reen and his pals were so dead set on foiling Osborn's schemes.
I mean, not really. I think they were kind of opposed to his schemes because of what the schemes were, not just because he was Reen's dad.
Juna?
So, this is one of those parts that didn't quite land for me.
Are you
Like I said, I'm
angry?
still catching up on from where I'd played before.
Yuna, Instructor Reen's birth father, doesn't change who he...
Of course I'm angry! How could I not be? Oh, damn it! Why would he keep all that from us?
So, here's the fun thing, Yuna. Everyone keeps things from everybody in this game. Second of all, it's personal business. It's clearly something that he had strong feelings about. It's not... You don't have the right to know that fact about him.
And not just him either. The rest of old Class 7 is just as bad.
Again, it's his secret to reveal if he wants to, not their place to do it. So, I didn't like this little outburst of hers.
Come on, you two. We're bringing them back here. Now!
I disagreed with it.
No. We're gonna have a few words with them!
Juna.
What exactly do you want to say?
So, they go off to drag Class 7 back.
That's our uni, I suppose.
And also, Altino's right there. She's kept it from you the entire time, too.
It seems that for better or worse, nothing keeps her down for long.
Rounding up the Mariners World Class 7. Face of her fierce energy, they were powerless to resist.
Good. That's everyone.
Juna?
What is it you wanted to talk to us about? I kind of get the feeling you're upset with us.
Oh, I'm not upset. I'm completely pissed off.
Juna, please.
I don't know what you're planning, but try to keep a level.
Kurt, Allie, I need both of you to shut it.
Ooh. Yuna, impolite.
We just learned the truth about Instructor Reen's father.
Well, Ali already knew. She's known for 2 years now. Just remember that, Yuna.
His birth father, I mean. The Blood and Iron Chancellor, Gileath Osborne.
Oh. Well...
So, you found out, huh?
Please, Yuna, don't think any less of Reen.
He suffered so much because of Osborne. But he never agreed with the Chancellor's policies, with his
It's true. For all the pain my brother has caused me, it pales in comparison to what Reen has suffered at the hands of his father. Each mission Reen fulfilled for his father ate away at him piece by piece, but he always retained his sense of what was right.
The funny thing is that, it was what Reen was doing, not what his relationship to Osborne was, that was eating away at him, honestly. If Osborne had not been his real dad, but was still having him, head north and conquer countries and fight against Crossbell and fight against Calvard and do all those things, it would still have ate away at him.
His actions in the Northern War
Yeah.
are a perfect example.
Thank you. It is a perfect example.
I get it. I haven't known him for as long as you have. But I know what kind of person he is. And I think there's something that we in the new Class 7 understand even better than
This
you
part also didn't quite agree with.
That Instructor Reen is still suffering. Even now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they all believe that and think that. None of them is like, they were just telling about how he's suffering at the hands of his father.
You're right.
We've seen it with our own eyes. We saw the way he fought. The way he gave his all to try and stop the Chancellor. But even then, it wasn't enough. So he chose to put his life on the line to keep us safe.
They're all like, we were in the Grawl too watching, remember? We put our lives on the line to try and help you all. And then also, that's what Reen does for us whenever we were around too.
Ali tried to protect him from certain death. But in the end, it was Milliam who paid the price. She became the sword to save all of our lives.
Still a weird thing to have happen.
The shock and grief sent Instructor Reen into a rage. In trying to avenge Milliam, he ended up triggering the end of the world.
Getting a bit grandiose on that.
And now, his father, Osborne, is trying to use him for something else even beyond all that.
I mean, we don't know that part either. You have no idea what Osborne is really planning.
I know that right now, Instructor Reen must be blaming himself for everything.
They're like, yeah, we've had that experience with Reen too. He does shoulder everything onto himself. Yeah, we're there with you.
For not being able to protect Milliam. For making a mistake that can't be undone. That's why someone needs to find him, grab him by the collar, and shake him until he snaps out of it.
And again, like, I don't think that any of them were like, we should just forget about Reen now. He'll be fine.
To tell him that he's wrong. That it wasn't his fault. Wasn't that supposed to be your job? You're his friends, aren't you?
Yeah, again, they've tried doing that. It's Reen's how he is. Second of all, if you're talking about since the disaster, they've just recovered as well.
Uni.
If you won't do it, then we will, as his students.
And again, at no point will I think any of this implication.
Instructor Reen has always offered us support when we needed it most. It now falls to us to do the same for him. And I swear I will. Not as a Vander, but as a member of Thor's Branch Campus's Class 7.
Yeah, again, this would have a little more oomph to it if there was at any point any implication that their attitude was like, let's leave Reen to whatever happened to him.
Instructor Reen has been my mentor, showing me the way. He taught me to think for myself, gave me the courage to make my own decisions. That's why my decision was an easy one. I'll protect everyone, just like Milliam did.
Well, try not to turn to a sword, Altina.
And I will do everything in my power to rescue Instructor Reen, so that I can thank him in person.
Sheesh, they got us good there.
Not really. Again, I fully expect all of you were already on that same page. I think it's intended to try to keep old class or the new Class 7 as the primary focus. Obviously, you know, these guys were very beloved characters, but they can't let them overshadow the current group focus.
Yep, I agree. They didn't just catch up to us, they blew right past.
You can say that again. We came to much earlier than they did, but all we did was mope around.
That's also a lie. We know that that's a lie. Some of them were clearly taking actions. They were actually trying to recover, right? We know that they needed to rest and recover. And also, like, Laura's front and center here. Macias, you're like, oh, Laura, your dad exploded. All you did was mope. What's wrong with you? He's only been dead for 2 weeks. You should be over things by now.
We let our sadness and our fear of what we have to do next paralyze us.
Again, no, not really. You're recovering. You only got better now. Some of you were taking steps.
How could we? It's so embarrassing. So much for setting an example.
And like, yeah, Gaius, he was all like, can't mope around. I gotta focus on what we're doing next. They all clearly seem to be on board with the whole let's do something. So, yeah, no, this scene didn't quite land.
So that means
how I think it was meant to land to me.
Yes, you're all absolutely correct.
That's not the case.
Protecting everyone, huh? That certainly sounds like Milliam.
She's passed the baton to us. Now we must work together to protect what we hold dear. Reen has always devoted himself to helping others. We owe it to him to follow his example.
I mean, Eustace was finding out information about what Muse was up to and passing it along and figuring that sort of stuff out.
Do you remember what we told Reen and Milliam that day? That we'd work to stop the war on the surface and find out what's happening behind the scenes. It's time for us to do just that.
And don't forget about Crow. Seems like he's got his memories back.
Yeah, that was also a kind of weird. Like, it never really felt to me like he lost his memories. He was just evil. Or a goon.
Yeah, we'll get him back on our side, even if we gotta beat some sense into him first.
Yeah. So this is, of course, one of those instances, for those of you who may not be aware, about Crow's backstory. Crow was a character from the first game. Right? You know what? Now that I look at the time, let's talk about Crow next time. Yes! Yes. Anyways, let me know, of course, in the comments down below if you felt that this scene resonated with you the way I think they were intending it to. Or if, like me, you're like, hey, wait a minute, no. Class 7 weren't just moping around, and in some of their cases, they were entirely justified if they were moping around. It does seem a bit much to be like, Laura, your dad exploded 2 weeks ago. Why haven't you gotten over it yet? You should be doing things. You're not allowed to grieve. Anyways, we'll leave that there, and I'll see you all in a bit.